Good evening, everyone. This is Mr. Burnett. I'd like to welcome you to a brand new school year, the fall of 2021. What a ride it's been. I want to start by thanking everyone for your support over the past 5 months as we've all gone through uncharted territory and have all tried to do what's best for our kids and keeping them safe and putting them in a position to not only be safe but also be successful. And so I really appreciate the community support, the parent support, and the support of the school staff and trying to work with the families and putting our students first. So it's very much appreciated. Thank you. I do want to share some information tonight about what the school year will look like. The school board on Monday night approved our return to learn plan. Within that, there's several guidelines and protocols as far as student safety and cleanliness and how the school day will look, etc. But there's three things that I think stick out the most that as a parent, I would want to know what's school doing in these three areas. Number one, what will the school year look like? We are going to come back to school on August 26th and run a regular schedule with all students from 8:10 in the morning to 3:15 every day, with the exclusion of Wednesday being a late start due to professional development. So to repeat that, all students will be back to school on a normal basis. When we were looking at the options that we had, some school districts you may hear on a hybrid where kids go every other day, or maybe they go half the day. But on that time that they're not in school, they're expected to be learning virtually. And I know, and I know our school board and our staff knows that it's challenging as a parent to also facilitate that instruction online because it's not just the student that needs to be a part of it, the parents do too. And so, for the best interest of everyone, the students, who I believe learn best in front of a teacher live, and for the parents who are trying to work and support your families and your children, it was in the best interest that we as a school district went back to schools with as much normalcy as we could. That being said, we know that safety is always going to be a challenge as far as contracting COVID 19. And working through those guidelines, the school district determined that we are going to require all students and staff to start the school year off in a mask. We're expecting all students to come to school in a mask. If you have specific questions on what that could look like for you, please contact Heather Hartley, our school nurse. If you have a situation where affordability is an issue, we've had people in the community that have stepped up and said they'd be willing to help. So please contact us if that's an issue. Also, if your child has a medical condition that would not allow them to wear a mask, please let Heather Hartley know too, and we can try to work with you for some type of alternative, whether that be a face shield or something else, or a specially designed mask that would allow your child to remain safe. Number two, communication. If we have a situation, and really it's more of a matter of when a student or a staff member would be uh, diagnosed with COVID, how will that look? If a student is sent home from school and they have symptoms of COVID-19, they're going to work with the Muscatine County Department of Health. They're going to be the ones that work with the families, communicate with the school, and also decide if we have to quarantine other students, staff members, etc. The other thing I wanted to share with you as parents, if there's a, I'm being, throw an example here, if there's a fourth grader that comes down with COVID-19, we are not going to send a mass email out from the school with that fourth grader's name, how long they're going to be quarantined, and what what we're doing with the rest of that fourth grade class. All that information will come from the Muscatine County Department of Health. We have to follow HIPAA guidelines and law that we cannot release medical information to the community. As you can imagine, if your child were to contract it, the horror that would come if you saw an email out to the entire district that your son or daughter's contracted COVID and they're now quarantined for 14 days. That's not how it works. So I just wanted people to be in the loop on that. It's not like the school is not communicating that with you. If there is a case, that's all comes from the Muscatine County Department of Health. The last thing I want to mention to you is we realize that there's some families that may not be comfortable sending their child back to school at this point. We are working and have contracted with the area education agency, an online/virtual platform called Edgenuity, which is a homeschool program where students can receive their education online. This homeschool program, or Edgenuity virtual program, is not tied with the school in terms of your child's classroom teacher providing the instruction. It is done turnkey by their staff. The good news is if a student chooses that route, they're still considered a Wilton student and would be allowed to return to school at the end of the first semester. It is the expectation that if a family decides to try to put their child in this program, that it's a semester commitment, because that is what our billing process looks like. You will not be billed personally for this, but the school district will. There is a small window of time where a family can try the program before the district is on the hook for paying for it. I believe it's 2 weeks at this point, but it's also being looked at to be extended to a third week, but that is evolving as we speak as well. So that being said, if you have any questions on that program, please contact Mr. Jamie Meyer here at school through email, and there should be a link that comes to you in the registration piece as far as picking the Edgenuity program. Please contact him with any questions you may have. To close, I want to thank you for all your support. I appreciate your patience moving forward because there are guidelines that are evolving daily that we receive from the state, and we certainly don't know which way this pandemic is going to go and which way the Department of Health is going to direct us. So there's a lot could happen between now and August 26th. But I do want to thank you for your support again, and I want you to know how much I appreciate working with you and your kids, and I really look forward to having them back in school. And as always, it's great to be a Beaver. Hang in there. Best of luck. School registration starts tomorrow, July 30th, and goes through Thursday, August 13th. So with that, have a great night.